This is breaking news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.
Have to perform. Checking the weather forecast is really important for the area you intend to hike or climb. If you know it's going to be windy, raining, snowing, you need to take that into consideration for how you prepare and what your skill level is. The third thing is to make sure to take food, water, and a first aid kit. You know, sometimes just a small backpack with food, a couple bottles of water, some granola bars, and a real brief tape first aid kit. That will suffice. It will get you through the night. Take the appropriate gear and minimal overnight provisions. Always plan when you go out hiking that something bad may happen and you may have to spend the night because you might not meet our criteria for responding on a night helicopter rescue. And the last thing is to have a light source, a charged phone, and to consider a personal locator beacon if you're doing very remote or very complex hikes or climbs where the area is not well known to a lot of people. It might be known to my team, but it might not be known to the average person. So nobody else will be able to come get you. Personal locator beacons can be bought at like Bass Pro Shops or something like that. Basically any electronics store will have them. It's a good tool to have if you do really extreme stuff. So with that, that's our basic presentation. Does anybody have any questions?
When you guys go out to rescues, when people are, hiking, camping, all these things, what are some of the more common things that lead to the rescues, and how can people try to prevent?
We basically go off of three things, right? People are either lost, stuck, or hurt. So they get lost, we go on a search for them, we try to get them back on trail. Sometimes we have to recover them in the helicopter, sometimes we can send a ground team on one of the ATVs, and we can get them back without having to deploy a helicopter. Stuck is what we refer to technically as being ledged out. You climb up somewhere, which it's more often than not, it's easier to go up than it is to come down. So people will climb up a rock structure and won't be able to get down. So they'll be ledged out. They will call us 911 and say, I'm up here, but I can't get down. We evaluate those rescues on where the area they're stuck in, how dangerous that is to them. If they're on a 2-foot ledge, whether it's day or night, we're probably gonna come get you right away. If you're on a 10-foot base and it's real nice and flat and you can put your tent up that you took your overnight provisions and you can wait till the morning, we will defer that. Since you're not injured, we will defer that to a daytime helicopter rescue so it's more safe for our pilots. And then injuries, we get ankle injuries, we get people fall, the cleats come out of the mountain and they fall 40 feet and they crack their skull. So we run the whole gamut from fatality to no injury, someone just being stuck, ledged out. And then all of the ankles, arms, broken legs, we do it all.
You said 110 in 2020. Is that going up? Because it seems like Red Rock is packed all the time now. There's not a slow time. So are your call-outs going up?
It's actually not. It's down right now, probably due to COVID. The parks were closed for a while, like about 8 months. The parks were closed completely, so people weren't allowed to go out there legally. Some people still went out there, but we've not seen a large increase. Yeah, we're actually seeing a big reduction from last year so far. We're only at 27 so far this year. But we have implemented, like I said, in the last 2 years, we've implemented a lot of proactive SAR, where those cards I have being handed out to you when we're done, we hand those out. We go to the parking lots. We have 2 search and rescue officers right now out hiking in Red Rock, Calico Basin, and they're handing out those cards to people to make sure everyone knows the basics things that can help you be successful when you go out to have a good time in the park. Anything else?
What other things do you use to prepare for this season? Do you increase the amount of fuel you have? Do you increase the number of bandages? Do you just go through more reminder training or anything like that?
Well, you have to remember, we're responsible for rescue, so we're always ready. All of my men assigned in the search and rescue section are in extremely top level fitness, top level. Because, like I said when I was speaking earlier, we have to do the rescues that nobody else can do because we're the only helicopter rescue company in town. Nobody else has a rescue helicopter. The medevac helicopters are merely for transport from the scene to the hospital. They're not to go into the wild, the canyons, back in, and they don't even have a hoist on them. Like you see, this hoist is on the H-145 helicopter, the basket's there. They don't have that. So we're always ready, 24/7, 365, we're ready. And when no one else can get you, Las Vegas Metro Police has to get you. That's our job. We're required. The sheriff is responsible for that. And thankfully, Sheriff Lombardo knows the importance of the unit. And he was a prior section commander. He used to be in my position. And he really understands the importance of this unit.
Compare this summer to 2 summers ago. What has COVID changed about your responsibilities and responsibilities of your team?
Well, just protocol in the helicopter. We do have dispatch ask the questions. If you call 911, we will ask you if you have the symptoms. We do mask our victims up when our rescue team is down on the ground packaging them. We do require them to mask up. Just minor protocol stuff with that.
Has there been a jump since people have been clamoring to get outdoors in responsibilities, calls, things like that? No,
we haven't seen that. That was her question. We have not seen an increase in rescues this year. We're right on about schedule, and this is typically when we're coming into our busy season, spring and summer. So that's why we're here today, to give those tips out. So hopefully we can get fewer rescues, because our rescue team, we're just response-based, right? We're not out. There's a little bit we could do to prevent some of them by educating the public, but there's not a lot we can do to prevent you from calling. If you're out on the rock and you get lost, stuck, or hurt, or you're worried, or you're scared, it's getting dark on you, you don't have a light, when you call 911, we assess that. Me personally, I assess that, and I decide how we're going to respond, when we're going to respond, and who's going to be in the helicopter when we do respond.
So these calls, when people are out there and they need help at any time, they call 911. There's not a specific number for you guys?
There's not. We want them to go through 911 because obviously, you know, Metro is the hub for all 911. Our dispatchers know our protocols, so they can screen some of those calls, and we might be able to send fire department first. Fire department gets out there. If they can handle it, it's less than a mile. It's not in any technical terrain, and they don't need us. If BLM and fire department can handle it, we're okay with that. When it gets beyond their capabilities, that's when we get the call, and then our dispatchers will notify us.
All right, everybody. We're going to go ahead and you guys can move your cameras around. We can take a look at all the equipment, and then we'll have some options over here to answer any questions for you guys, okay?
Thank you, guys.
You just heard from Metro Police, their message on outdoor safety, their news conference there wrapping up, but we want to tell you about what we missed in the first part of that news conference. So the Air and Operations Director, Steve Morris, talked about some life-saving tips for those who love nature, going outside. Of course, with the weather getting warmer, more families are expected to go hiking, camping, do outdoor activities. And so the Metro Police Department really wants to warn families, let them prepare beforehand what they can do if things don't go as planned, and also what to do if they're injured or lost. Now, we'll continue to monitor the story for you, and we'll have the full article posted on our website, lvrj.com. Later this afternoon, the media is also expected to have a tour of the police helicopter and other emergency vehicles, so we'll be bringing you that as well on our evening newscast, 7 at 7 p.m. tonight, and also make sure to catch 7 at 7 tomorrow morning for 7 minutes of nonstop local news you need. I'm Jen Ah. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. We'll see you in a few hours at 7.
You've been watching breaking news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.